We can hear it. Say it so we can hear it.
We're starting now. We're live. Good morning, mob family. Oh, that's good. Death wish. Let's see who shows up today. Give it a moment and the people come in. Oh, okay, we got one person, two people. Hello, Patricia, welcome. It's okay. Hello, Renee. Welcome, good morning. Federica, good morning. How are you? What time is it where you are, Federica? It should be like afternoon. Hello, Heather. Welcome. Good morning. Linda, hello. Morning. Hope you're all doing well today. We're recovering from our snow. Oh, it's 4:30 where you are, Federica. Okay. It's not too bad. It's still early afternoon. We're recovering from our snowstorm, and I think we're getting more snow, so that's going to be fun over the weekend. We'll wait for a few more people to come in before we begin. Really? Do you get a lot of snow in Ireland? I mean, I know it's cold. You guys are, up, so... Are your winters really brutal, Federica? Good morning, Wendy. I guess we can have our greeter come in and say good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Malcolm. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that wonderful good morning. Well, I always say good morning, but you guys know how it works. I say good morning, and you apply the time zone that works for you. How was that, Linda? Linda just said she got back from taking her mom for her first COVID vaccine. Hello, Joe. Good morning / afternoon / evening. They say good morning to you. Good early morning, Jeanette, because I know you're like in the middle of the night. Everyone's saying hello to Z. Hello, Paige. Good morning. Wave to Paige. Hello, Paige. All right, let's begin. We're going to start with the announcements that we always do. So, shout-outs to... I'm going to give our shout-out to the family, to the tribe, to all of them, from the eldest to the youngest, to my sister Lee. Shout-out to everybody. Thank you for being so awesome. We're on YouTube. Hopefully, we're on YouTube now. Chris will let me know in a moment, or Dolly will be able to check soon. So, yes, we're on YouTube. I'm getting yes, we're on YouTube. So, shout out to everyone on YouTube. If you haven't found us on YouTube yet, please find us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and share. And just go sign up. Just say, yeah. Click on the subscribe button, then click on the little bell, and that way you know when we're on YouTube. I know the feed is going. You guys are answering. I'm just going to get through these, and I'll answer you guys. We're also on Instagram at Bitten Peaches. So, I've been putting up posts on Bitten Peaches. They're excerpts of the books, so just like us on Instagram as well, please. That'd be awesome. And you can always submit questions or make comments, so please feel free to interact on Instagram also. We have a great amount of things. I was on the ZAZZLE store recently. I'm blown away by how many things Dolly has put up on that ZAZZLE store. So go to the store, get your swag, okay? So it's amazing stuff that's there. Not just skateboard decks. There's a lot of great things there. So go get your swag. I'm looking at some t-shirts I want to get. On Patreon, if you haven't signed up for our Patreon, please sign up. It's we go from like $1 to, I don't know, what do we go to from $1 to like, yeah, it's just like really small amounts. So whatever you want to sign up for, whatever tier you want to sign up for, sign up for. Become a patron, please. We also have our e-newsletter, which is A Bite of the Peach, it comes out every month, usually twice a month. So we'll have our first one coming up soon. And just sign up to the newsletter. You'll get stuff that you may not find, or that may just pass in the mob. So you'll have some new events or current events, books that are happening. You'll find out about a lot of things that are going on. So sign up to the newsletter at orlandoasanchez.com. Go to the site and give me your email, and then you'll be part of the newsletter, the Creative Warriors newsletter. Don't forget to follow us on BookBub, because we're there on BookBub, and also on Binge Books. So it's Binge Books. Just join, add reviews. It's a brand new site, so we're starting to develop our presence there. So go there and let them know the strength of the mob. So it's fantastic. All right, so let me go back in the feed as I was giving the announcements, and let's see, what did I miss? Let's see. Linda, I'm glad that the wait wasn't too long, that it went smoothly. That's awesome. Good morning, Davina/afternoon. Hello, Audrey. How are you? Federica, you don't usually get snow, but you're calling the beast from the east. Oh, geez, that doesn't sound good. Okay. Let's see. Good morning, Chris Mendoza. Let's see. It's not a great start to the morning when you fail to make your coffee. That's not morning yet, so go make that coffee. See, failed coffee. Yeah, that's not good. Failed coffee making. The filter wasn't sealed properly. Oh, and end up with lots of ground. That's not coffee. That's water with grounds. That's not fun. Dolly makes awesome coffee. All right. Good morning, Anne. How are you? Welcome. Let's see. Wendy says I have to wait to hit the store and patronage. Got my eye on much better car than I currently have. That's good. You want to have good transportation and save those pennies. That's always a good. Yeah. Oh yeah. If you're getting your Augie Doggies arthritis meds, that's priority. Get the swag later for sure. I gotta see if I get let's do this. Excellent. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't affect. You guys can still hear me, right? Everything's okay? Let me know how the reception is. Let's check it up on. Let's put it up on here too, so we can kind of follow as well. Got to refresh here. I like to follow it on the page as well as Dolly follows it on YouTube. So I know Chris Chrisman is working his technomancy on YouTube as well. Hey, yo, Yasmin, good morning. Davina, that's a lethal question to ask. So yeah, I'm not even gonna go there. But that's a good question. That's a good question. I thought it would be fun to have Simon in that situation. So that was good. And of course, there's the play on words and the double entendres and all that. So, yeah. Hello, Tanya. Welcome. Good morning or good afternoon. Fantastic. I hope you're all doing well today. Today is episode 41 of our Mob TV Cafe Clutch. So, welcome. I can't believe we've done 41 of these already. It's amazing. It's fantastic we've done that many. Let's see. So, yeah, I'm not going to get into the knockers conversation. Plus, I don't want to give away too much of the story. I already, the snippet has, I try to give almost up to chapter 4 of snippets when it comes to Monty Strong. But this book is going to be long. This one is going to be probably as long as Walking the Razor, if not longer. So you might get more snippets. But I'm not going into knockers. So it'll be interesting. Afternoon, Jim. Welcome. Hope the writing's going well, Jim. All right, so right, time does fly when you're having fun. Yeah. So Jeanette, yes, to answer your question now live, the audiobooks, Dolly is coordinating all the audio stuff, so that's why it's going so smoothly. The audiobooks are going to be the short stories are also going to be audiobooks. This is going to be a collection. No God is Safe is already an audiobook, but you're going to have the date and the War Mage and a proper Hellhound and the other two that escape me at the moment. Saving Mr. K and The Perfect Cup. Eventually, they're all going to be audiobooks. So, we'll let you know. Dolly's on top of all that, so she's good coordinating with Kevin. Chris says, after chapter 34, how wrong could knockers go? Well, see, chapter 34, remember, is Badlands PPD. didn't write all of chapter 34. Remember, in the Badlands, and I always blame John. I always give John all the blame. All the PPD books, I wrote the action, and John wrote the raunch. So there you go. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Jim, going slow is okay, as long as you're going. That's key. That's the key. Oh, let's see. So I missed the feed there. Oh, sounds good. Sounds and looks good. Yeah, okay. Excellent. Yes, poor Simon, Yasmin, I know. Jeanette, I agree. Kevin is a fantastic narrator. He brings the story to life. He makes it so when you listen to the story, you want to hear what's next. It's incredible. I enjoy having Kevin as a narrator for us. So he's going to do all our stuff. So it's just a matter of now he's actually moving really fast. So we kind of have to make sure that his schedule aligns with our schedule. So that's the only thing. Good morning, Jasmine. Welcome. Malcolm. No. Knockers is just, what they call percussive mages. I don't know where your mind is going, Malcolm. Let's see, Jeanette says, I'm currently world building for UF set. Oh, that's great, because I'd love to read a story set in Melbourne. That'd be great, because I've never been to Melbourne, so it'd be fun. That's the world building. I was speaking to Dolly the other day about you could get lost in the world building. So don't get lost in the world building, Jeanette, because it could take up all of your time, and then you're not writing the story. So you kind of want to balance the world building with the storytelling. So you want to have the foundation there, but you also want to get to the story. I know a lot of authors who've been world building for years, and they still haven't written the story because they're trying to get the world perfect. And it could derail your story, or it could detour you off the story and into just world building. Yeah, get your magic system ready, get it working, and then get into your story. Once you have it down, and you don't have to reveal all of it at once. If you ever read Brandon Sanderson in The Mistborn, if I'm not mistaken, his first book, one of the first ways he expresses the magic is he says, and the character burnt tin. He didn't explain it. He just said that's what happened. And throughout the story, as the story progressed, he started explaining what the magic system was. So yeah, so you don't want to get too lost in building the foundations. You want to have them there because it's key, and you want to have an understanding of your magic system. But you want to get to the story, or else you will get lost. Like Heather says, you get lost in a rabbit hole, and then you're stuck in there. Good morning, Jenny. Welcome. Yes, John. Same thing. You get into especially if you're the DM and you're just building this dungeon, and you never get to the game because you're still building the dungeon. So it's like most authors get to the story, get your readers in the story, and get them curious about what's happening, and then start revealing the world. Yeah, exactly, Davina. Is you let the world build itself, and also don't forget when you have players, they impact the world also. So you're interacting with the players as well. In a book or in a story, you don't really have that same kind of interaction. So you have to know how everything works, but it doesn't have to be explained all at once. So I think it's great. World building is important. It doesn't matter what story you're telling. You have to know the world that you're in. But it's also a rabbit hole. You could fall in there and then never get to the actual story. So just be aware. That's all. All right, let's get into some of the updates. So Nameless, which is Sepia Blue. Jono, welcome. Hey, how you been? It's good to see you, Jono. I know your life's been kind of like all over the place, so it's good to have you here. Welcome. So Nameless is Sepia book 4, Sepia Blue book 4. That's almost halfway done, I want to say. It has to get out pretty much by March sometime. So it's happening. Again, it's a weird kind of experience right now because I'm so used to writing first person, and now Sepia is in several points of view. Sepia is always in first person when she's the center, when she has the stage per se, but the other ones are in third person. So it's been interesting. So, but it's coming along. It's a little slower than my books usually, but that's because it has a nice build up. So it's different, but it's fun. Let's see, what did Jeanette say? Just need enough of the magic base so I can understand how the basics... Yeah, once you have that, then you can tell your story. Hello, Jackie. Welcome. Yeah, me too, Jeanette. I'm looking forward to Nameless. It's a great world to visit and to be in and to write in. So I write that like I've never been there, like I'm not creating it, but it's still as a reader I look forward to it. So yeah, it's really great to see you, Jono. I'm glad you were able to make it today. You have been missed. So awesome. They Bite, guys. The reviews. What's going on? Let's. I know life gets in the way, but They Bite needs reviews. So please leave your reviews for They Bite. Okay. So hop on over to Amazon and leave your reviews when you can. I know in the midst of everything else, life happens and we forget. But again, like I've always said, it doesn't need to be a manifesto. One sentence is great. Hey, book was good. It could have been better. I hate books that end like this. Whatever the case may be. But go leave your review on They Bite, please. That'd be awesome. And Nixia will thank you. What does Davina say? I once spent ages building the society and stuff. My player characters decided to move to a different country partway through the second session. And I had to call a 30-minute recess. Then hit... What is it? Oh, man, that already sounds rough, Davina. Then hit the ground running. Yeah, now you have to improvise. Yeah. Janine, hello Janine, welcome. Who is the St. Louis Wizard? Come on, everybody knows that. So Janine, I'll let the group answer for me. I know when I say everybody knows that, obviously not everyone since you're asking, but mostly everyone in the mob knows who the St. Louis Wizard is. Yeah, I think sometimes the players do that intentionally, Jeanette. So yeah. Let's see, Elizabeth. Hello, Elizabeth. Let's see, I have not read it yet, but I have started having time to read again, so I will check it out. Check They Bite out. I love the cover when I saw. Yeah, the Range Doctor Design did the cover, and their covers are fantastic. Oh, I'll tell you later. We're gonna get to a cover from the Range later. Okay. Janine says, "Oh, I love that the books are set in New York." I set the books in New York intentionally because I love New York City and I live here, so it's easy for me. But I also had one story set in London because I had visited London for a few weeks, and so I had that one there. And one story set in Japan, and that was mostly Google Earth, Google Maps, because I have not been to Japan. Although I know a lot about the culture. But New York City is go-to for me because New York City is a character in itself. So I set most of the books there because there's always something to discover in the city. Even though I've focused more in Manhattan, which is where the stories are set, New York City is large enough that I can go to the other boroughs and still have so much to do. I mean, I still have other places to go to in New York City. In fact, in Requiem, we might be going out of Manhattan. Yes, I did not destroy London. It was just partially damaged. It was gently damaged. Let's see. Most of the bridges were destroyed, yes. But I left the Tower of London intact. And Stacy keeps reminding me of that. So, but yeah, I left most of London in one piece. You know, they don't want them back, but it's still there, which is great. And there's so many other places so many places in New York I haven't destroyed. So, yeah. Right, I could always go to New Jersey, but then I'd have to, if I send them to New Jersey, we're going to make New Jersey a crater. You know how it is. So, I always look up the vehicles you mentioned. So Anne says, I always look up the vehicles you mentioned on Google to visualize them. Yes, they're always all real vehicles. I don't make that many vehicles. Even Nixia's 8 is a real, it's called an APC for the IDF, which is the Israeli Defense Force. It's a real vehicle. And it's a real awesome vehicle. So I try to find real vehicles always to put in the books, have them blow up, or use them. I try to keep the vehicles intact. I only destroyed one goat, and then I brought it back. So, yeah, it's like gently, you know how Wendy, when you have something, like let's say you have old clothes, and you said that they're gently used, London was gently damaged. A light tenderizing, exactly, to encourage urban renewal. I think, yeah, that's how we're going to go. We're going to go with that, for sure. I think I missed something of the feed. Let's see. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, just gently damaged. They can't go to London for a while, but they do have to go back at some point because things are happening. So yes, and that's going to have an issue with the Penumbra Consortium over there. They haven't gone to Canada. There's so many places they can still go to. So Canada is one because it's close by. But there aren't many ties to Canada from Monty or Simon, so we'll see. For Monty, it's because he's from there, from the UK, and Simon is based here in New York, so that's why. Yeah, the feed's going really fast. I can barely keep up, so it's going quick. So if I miss a comment you make or something you say, please forgive me. It's just that the feeds are going so fast, and I'm on my phone, and even though I have it open online, it's still going just as fast online. So. No, see, I like Central Park. If you notice, Central Park never really gets damaged. I always keep Central Park intact. Things could happen in Central Park, but I keep Central Park intact because it's an awesome place. Janine wants to know if Peaches get a girlfriend or pup. You've got to read the Brew and Chew, Janine. And what's the book where Rags gets introduced? I forgot. With Cece and Rags at the end.
Brew and Chew?
No, they're in the Brew and Chew.
Perfect Hellhound?
No, Perfect Hellhound is when Peaches gets supposed obedience lessons. Where is it that whatever book we introduce Cece in, there you see Rags and Cece. So that will answer your question, Janine, about Peaches getting a girlfriend. So yeah. Let's see. One of my favorite D&D tale involves. This is Jeanette saying, one of my favorite D&D tale involves having to get into a town that has a truth gate. You had to say why you were going to the city. And we were there to steal stuff. Enter the mob and violent walk. Let's see what I gotta expand it. Hold on. We are singing Ludus and we are here to loot. Oh, that's good. That's really good. That's one way around it. For sure. I like that one. We're singing Ludus and we're here to loot. No, Hellhound Blues, which is the first Brew and Chew story, talks about the Brew and Chew, like the beginning of how the Brew and Chew is forming. But there's a Monty Strong story novel that has the introduction of Cece, and this goes back. It's before Reaping Wind. It'll come to me like at the end. So the one that introduces Cece, where Olga is this is me who wrote the book, not remembering, where Olga appoints Monty as Cece's teacher. That's at the end of the book. And that's where Peaches first sees Rags and is smitten by Rags. So Janine, your question is that if you read that book, if you've gotten that far, you'll see Peaches meets Rags, who is Cece's guardian, and he falls in love with Rags, but Rags has no time for Peaches. And Rags is also a Caucasian mountain dog, so it's huge. It's a huge kind of dog. Think Mouse from Jim Butcher's books. That kind of dog. It's enormous dog, enormous breed. The kind of dog where you have to have a farm or a lot of space to kind of own that dog. Yes, John, it's where Olga freezes the hotel. Not the whole hotel, but the room that they're in becomes like a meat locker because she says, you're going to have to do this. And then Monty says, well, what if I don't want to? And she gives a small, tiny demonstration of her power, which is considerable. So it'll come to me. I'll remember it, the title at some point. This is what happens when you have so many stories in your head. And I'm currently in the middle of 3 stories. So right now I'm currently in the middle of Nameless, They Rend, and Requiem. So my brain is kind of focused there. So it takes a while for me to go back and I can remember details and then I can't say, okay, it's in this book. So it's like that. Yes, Jenny. To groom a Caucasian mountain dog, you need someone who goes back to someone who can groom that dog because you're not going to do it by yourself. Yeah. Yes, Davina, Cece is the one who froze the building, but there was a moment when Olga froze the room to convince Monty that he needed to take Cece as a student. And yeah, she had a notification from the Golden Circle to make it official that Monty was now Cece's official mentor. And so that part, that book, that story, actually, we should make this a quiz now at this point. Just tell me titles. It's not Hell Have No, Reaping Wind, no. I think it might be the Golem. It might be the Golem. We'll see.
It's one of the last books.
It's one of the more recent books. Yeah, it's not. Let's see. What's after the Golem? The Golem is in Dark Glass. Not Dark Glass. So it's either the Golem or the book right before the Golem. We'll see. I'll figure it out. It'll come back to me. Like Chris says, delayed memory. Welcome to my world. Yeah. No, not Blood is Thicker. That's way too early. Cece doesn't get introduced until much later. Much later. So I'm thinking the Golem. No, I don't think it's Saving Mr. K. Because it has to be a full book. It was a full book. Yeah, you'll get caught up, Janine. Don't worry. Look at me. I'm still trying to remember it. And I'm the one who wrote it. So don't feel bad. Oh, yeah, John. Sure. How large? What kind of master do you have? Yes, so that's a good question, Davina. Is Monty still Cece's official teacher after the Golden Circle was destroyed? Yes, he's still her teacher. Nothing changes in that regard. So he remains her official teacher. The Golden Circle is destroyed, but, and I don't want to give away too much, what's going to happen is that Dex is going to change the focus of the Golden Circle. So there'll still be a Golden Circle, it just won't be known as such. And Dex is going to change it into a school of battle magic. So, there you go. Janine says, love your work. My poor husband sees me up reading. I feel my deepest apologies to your husband who sees you up reading, Janine. I am so sorry. I extend all deepest apologies to him. Oh, he's an English Mastiff. Wow, that is a big dog, John. I hope you have a lot of space. So, hey, Orlando is here. The other Orlando. Hey, it's my namesake is hanging out there somewhere. Let's see. Reading M&S late because, yeah, you know what? Not only does it cause great dreams for you guys, it causes great dreams for me. So, yeah. So the other Orlando is here. He's in the audience somewhere. Hello, Orlando. So, yes. Yeah, I can totally relate, Jenny, because sometimes I'll get into a story and it's like you're in the story. So it's like that. John says his master just needs a couch and lots of drool rags. Yeah, they do. They drool. Those dogs are really known for drooling. Sure, for not drool rags, like drool towels. So yeah. No, they don't become the tarnished warriors, but they get folded into the Montague School of Battle Magic, which becomes, okay, I'm giving this away. It becomes a series later on because Dex breaks away from all the sects. Now that the actual place is destroyed, he kind of starts from the ground up. And that becomes its own series. Yes, sponges, that's what you need for a mastiff. All right, let's continue. They Rend, which is next year's second story, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's halfway done. So that'll be going out soon because, yeah, it's going really well. Dolly's reading. How are you liking it?
I love it.
She's loving it. So the Nixia and Acheron contingent, we're so far at 3 books. Let's see what happens after that. But this book is ending up, this story, because it's only like 20K, but it's ending up really fun. Rhiannon, hello. How are you? Awesome. Davina says, if some of the circle didn't want to be battle mages, would they be able to join other sects, or do the mages have to be born into a sect? Can they switch? They can switch, but the focus of the Golden Circle was mostly battle mages. So most of the mages that are there, like if you think about the White Phoenix is mostly healing mages. So most of the Golden Circle mages are battle mages or want to be battle mages, so it's not much of a shift for them. But they can switch if they want to. Like Dex would let them switch, for sure. I'm glad you're enjoying the Nixia books, Jasmine. That's awesome. So that was They Rend. It's halfway done, and I'm trying to keep it to 20K because these novellas have a tendency to get away and they're unruly and feral. So I'm trying to keep it to 20K. We'll see what happens. Requiem. Like I said before, Requiem, I feel it's going to be much longer than the typical 50K. I think I'm anticipating 70K. It might even be longer than that. So we'll see. I'm not rushing to write it. I'm just letting it kind of flow. I'm rushing to write Nameless because there's a hard deadline for Nameless Sepia 4. There's not a hard deadline for They Rend, but I want to get it done. And there's no hard deadline for Requiem, even though I want to get it out. But I'm kind of letting Requiem flow. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a little longer than usual. So Malcolm says, the apprentice Cecilia is mentioned in chapter 1 of the Golem. So the book before that. So whatever the book before the Golem is. Reaping Wind. I think then. Let's see. Jenny says, fear of books that have bitten and will bite again. They might need rabies shots. Yes. 30 to 40K for any. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it to 20K because when I say 20K, then it wants to be 30K, then it wants to be 40K, then it's a book. Jeanette says Cecilia's introduced in Bullets and Blades. I don't think so. Does she go back that far? I don't think so. I think you're thinking of someone else, Jeanette. I may be wrong, but I don't think Bullets and Blades seems a little early for Cecilia. Maybe you're thinking of Stacy Stein, who's related to Cecilia, but not Cecilia. 30K to 40K for Nixia. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it to 20K for Nixia. We'll see what happens. I'm trying, but the story has a tendency to kind of want to go off on its own. All right, let's go. The next audiobook, The Golem, right, is at the end of March. So it should be coming out soon. Soon. That's the end of March is soon. So, because remember we have to stick to a kind of schedule. Kevin has a schedule. So, check chapter 30 in Bullets. Okay, we really do need an MMS Wikipedia. I would definitely check chapter 30 of Bullets and Blades, but I don't think Cecilia's mentioned in there. This is me going from memory, Jeanette, so I'm not refuting. I will check. But we really do need an MNS. I've started one. I have to kind of go over it. An MNS Bible. So I have it here somewhere safe. See it? See that? Down here. Point down here. See?
Oh, yes, I
So I've started the file for an MNS Story Bible. I have one, but now I'm going to try and just put it into a digital form that's easier. So we can just cross-reference things quickly. That's going to take time because there's a lot of M&S stuff. Like Dolly's like, why did you write? When she has to put data somewhere, and it's Monty and Strong, it's like so much stuff to move from here to there. All right, Jeanette, give me a quick part where it mentions Cecilia in that section, if you would please, so it could kind of jumpstart my brain. I'd really appreciate that. Because I don't remember Cecilia being introduced that early in Bullets and Blades. But again, I may be wrong. It's possible. And if you have it open on the Kindle, that's great. All right, so The Golem is coming out in March, which is our next audiobook. And somewhere around there after The Golem, we have Dark Glass. And then the short stories are like around there somewhere also. So Kevin is currently working on the short stories too. Cecilia, go watch your rags. Go. Yeah, so it has to be there. Because Bullets and Blades, that's when Cecilia's first introduced. I just didn't realize it was that early. So Bullets and Blades is where Peaches meets Rags and loses his mind. He goes, oh my God. He just goes dog crazy. Thank you, Jeanette. I appreciate the memory refresher that it's in Bullets and Blades. So what's after Bullets and Blades? Hell Hath No Fury? Yeah, okay. So she's not mentioned again until... I mean, I know she's mentioned when the building is frozen because it's because of her. And then mentioned again later on. Yeah, so okay, makes sense. Yes, last time she chewed my chairs, my expensive chairs. Yeah, that sounds exactly like what Rags did, for sure. Do I have a dog? Yes, I have a dog. I've had dogs most of my life. I had a big parenthesis when I didn't own any dogs, but I do have a dog. It's a boxer. Her name is Winter because she's white. It's a white boxer, which are kind of rare. And yes, Chris, like you said, there's not enough hours in a day to do all this stuff like writing, and then now we have to create the MNS Bible. It's a whole thing. It's a lot. There's a lot going on. Always, but that's just the way it is. Okay, how come we never see Winter? Because she is in her part of the house that way when I do these Mob TV episodes. But one of these episodes I'll bring her on. Because she's a boxer. That should tell you everything. She doesn't like to sit still. She's just all over the place. So, but yeah, I'll bring her over. She's very comfy in her bed too. So, awesome, Jeanette. I will definitely take you up on that because you have a great brain for all this stuff. So, you and Dolly can get together, and then I can kind of give Dolly stuff, and you guys can get together, and we'll all collectively we can create a nice wiki page for the Monty and Strong world. Definitely, Chris. Yeah, We have to say this has to be a collective effort because it's just too much. There's just too much information, and it's stuff that has to be cross-referenced. Okay, if Rags and Simon were both in immediate potentially fatal danger, and he could only save one, who would Peaches save, and would he ever forgive Simon for making him choose? He would definitely save Simon. Because it's his bondmate, so there's not even a choice. It's what he would do. To the extent that Peaches would sacrifice his life if it meant keeping Simon alive. So that's not even a question. But he would. I don't know if he would ever forgive Simon for that. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. So our next Mob TV. So make a note in your calendars, it's going to be the 19th. I'm going to interview John Logsdon. You guys, a lot of you know who John Logsdon is. So we're going to be having an interview. I don't know how we're going to do it yet. I was thinking StreamYard, but we lose a lot of the functionality of chats in StreamYard. So I want to see if we could use this format and then fold it into what we do here, where we could still have all the chats and have the interview. So I'm going to work on it with Chris, and I'm going to do a bit of my own due diligence and see what we could use. StreamYard is great for the interview interface, but not so much for the audience participation. So you guys can't really, you lose a lot of the chat. And a lot of what we do here is dependent on you being able to be part of the process. So we'll see. If I could bring him into it and then we can do it that way, that's the way we'll do it, you know? Okay, so that's the 19th of February, so get ready. And asks, if I came to New York, would I be able to find Ezra's place? Yes. Ezra's place is a real deli called Katz's Deli, downtown. I do mention it in the book, Katz's Deli. It's one of the oldest delis in New York City. And the pastrami sandwiches are enormous and huge and awesome. So yes, Katz's Deli, K-A-T-Z Deli. If you look it up online, you'll find it. And you can actually find pictures of it and find pictures of the food. So yes, it's a real place and it's really awesome and it's really old. And the egg creams are incredible. So once this COVID situation is up, I want to take the tribe there because they've never been. So it's amazing. Yes, Ezra's is the actual identical deli as Katz's, just shifted over in a different plane. So let's see, what did Jeanette say? I'm kind of afraid to think how bad it would be for Rags to be in danger. It would have to be really, 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 really bad. And it would have to probably be focused around Cecilia because Rags is, a guardian. So the only way she would be in danger is her having to do something with saving Cecilia or protecting Cecilia. Well, yeah, Audrey, Cats has, that's what they're known for. And they will deliver. I don't know if they deliver outside New York, but they do deliver. And Dolly has put up the link because Dolly's awesome. So you can look at the link there. It's a pilgrimage place, yeah. I know, I've never been to Russ and Daughters, but I know Cats is awesome. So when COVID's up and we can have it, we're going to do a Peaches Con, and you can be sure that Cats is going to be one of the stops on the Peaches Con Destruction Tour, which is the tour of all the places that Monty and Simon have destroyed in New York City in the stories. So there you go. But if you're close by, you should definitely visit Cats when you can. I know they're open now. Let's see. Has the option here for people to request it? Right. It should work theoretically, and I know Chris and I tried it, but we had weird connection, and I'm on a phone, so I'm gonna see if we can do it on a computer and see how we can do it so it'll work. Yeah, I don't think they'll deliver to Canada. Cats is good, but not that good. It would cost you more for the delivery than anything else. So you're better off finding a place local. But if you ever come to New York City, and at one point I want you all to come to New York City, and then we can do our Peaches Con, and then we could definitely go to Katz's. And I'll make sure that before we have Peaches Con, I'll speak to the ownership at Katz's so we can have, because I know they rent out a space. We can have our own room at Katz's, and that'll be fun because then it'll be like being in Ezra's. So we'll definitely do that for sure. Okay. Getting delivered to Australia is going to be, they're not going to deliver anything perishable like that. I mean, if they do, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg because it has to be flown over overnight. So, yeah. All right. So the 19th, we have our interview with John Logsdon. So We got to figure out how to get it done. So, yeah. Like Elizabeth says, you should do a story on property insurance claims after the disasters. No, we have the Damned, which is a group that cleans up after mages. And there's a character in there. One of those characters is like the insurance guy who's like a nervous, anxious person. And it's like, oh my God, property values are going to go, it's like you're destroying the property values. This is a landmark area, so forth and so on. There's going to be a character like that who's always nervous about what happens when mages let loose in the city. Yeah, it's a bit far for you, Davina. Davina says, I wish you can come to New York City. It's like, I love visiting London. Like I told Dolly, I like going to London. I like the city. I appreciate its age, but it's a little far. You have to cross an ocean. It's pretty far. Okay, so this is a suggestion from Craig, or a comment from Craig, because it's part of the questions that he asked for the question portion, so I'm going to address it now. Craig asked, Craig the Dragon Zimic, when is the next trivia day for the bit part new villain possibly happening? So here's what I propose, okay? We're going to create a red shirt competition where you guys can PM me questions that need to be answered for someone to die in the book, because my brain is so overloaded right now with things that I have to do, right? So you guys think of questions that you could PM me. Don't put it in the mob, because then the question is going to be answered. But PM me the questions that you think would be the hardest questions. It has to be Monty and strong. And someone will answer the question. We'll find the hardest question for the next red shirt competition. And if someone can answer that question, they can be a character that ends up dying in the next story. So there you go. Will John be able to keep the ranch? Yeah, when he and I get together, he doesn't really go off on ranch. So it's a little bit more down to earth. That'd be awesome. If we ever get to Australia, we've seen this show called The 72 Things That'll Kill You in Australia, and my kids are deathly scared of going to Australia because it seems like everything in Australia is out to get you. So that might be a hard sell, Jeanette, but I can definitely say, hey, you need to go to Melbourne, and I'm sure they have awesome coffee and awesome things to see. So definitely. I just have to get them past the whole everything in Australia is trying to kill you, which is not necessarily true, I know. But it's just the way the show is portrayed. They portray as spiders out to get you, snakes are out to get you, creatures out to get you, everything is out to get you. I don't know how anyone even walks outside of their home because it seems like everything is out to get you. So, but we have to make it a trip. I know Dolly loves to travel, so that'll be a nice long trip going to Australia. So let's see what happens with our current health crisis, and we can get it under control. Oh, let's see. Davina says, I've been to Perth, but not Melbourne, and I did permanent damage to my right foot in a coffee shop. What did you do exactly? Jeanette says, because you don't want that many tourists. I get it. Yeah. What does Chris say? Chris says, you should read John and Ben's last book. Wild Claws, there's a reference in there that's totally clean porn. See? There you go. Awesome. He can do it. I mean, look, I wrote 3 books with John, and not all, they weren't that raunchy. They have moments. But a lot of it is just basically really funny stuff. Yes, Peaches Con is a real thing that we really want to do. We just have to find the logistics of it, where we're going to do it, and so forth and so on, and how, and then we're going to share with the mob. But definitely going to do it. So yes. How about a cruise convention? There are factors involved. Like, we have to think about the cost of stuff too. So we have to see, we'll weigh it out. What's the easiest way to do it? Hello, Melody. Welcome. All right, so let's continue. So red shirt competition. You guys come up with questions that are really hard to stump people regarding the M&S world. And then if someone can answer those questions, maybe one or two, we'll pick the best one, the hardest one. Then we'll use that for the red shirt competition participants. Yeah, no cruise. The cruise thing is a little difficult because, first of all, you can't do a cruise now anyway. And even when we can, the likelihood of it happening is a little sketchy. So, and they're exorbitantly priced. It's easy. It would be cheaper to have everyone come to New York if we could defray the cost somehow. It would be cheaper, really. Okay, Let's see. Davina says, got distracted by a display of cool coffee stuff and fell down 2 steps, broke my ankle, tore some ligaments, then walked around it for 6 weeks instead of getting medical attention. That's not good. Yeah. Hello. So I'm glad you're better, but you want to avoid doing that to yourself. Yeah. No coffee is worth any of that. So, hello, Mary. Welcome. Yeah, it's just an idea, and we'll have a whole bunch of ideas because it's hard because we want to have Peaches Con be something that everyone can come to, but not everyone is in the U.S. We have people in the UK that we'd like to have at Peaches Con as well. So it's going to be a logistical juggling act, and once that does, but we'll get it to the point where we can try to have everyone here somehow. So all the ideas are welcome. We'll just float them and see what we can do, if it works or if it doesn't work. So, but trust me, there are a lot of people who want to come to a Peaches Con because I want to go to a Peaches Con. So there you go. Not only that, I've already spoken to some of the models who do the covers for Wander for the Night Warden series. They're willing to be there if I have a Peaches Con. So you can actually meet Gray and Coda. You're not going to be able to meet Monty and Simon because those models are different. Like, it's deranged. And so I don't know if I could even get those 2 guys to come to a Peaches Con, but I can try. I can speak to Deranged and see if they really know who the models are. And maybe I can invite them over. We'll see. That would be awesome to just have them there. They may not know anything about the books, but it would be awesome. Yes, John, see, but there are a few see, we don't have to get one of the bigger hotels. If we're going to start out for our first Peaches Con, we can get one of the smaller hotels, and they are dog friendly because we need to have a Peaches there. So yeah, because it's Peaches Con. Hello. So we need to have a mascot there. And we can have lookalikes. So there's going to be plenty of cosplay, I'm sure. So we'll do that too, Chris, for sure. Okay, let's go. What else we got? All right, so we did the retro competition. I'm waiting for your questions. So yeah, exactly. It's like Supernatural. Supernatural is like huge now, and even though they filmed their last episode, they still have Supernatural conventions, right? So they have Supernatural conventions where Jared and the 2 Supernatural guys go there. I'm not that big of a Supernatural guy. So, but the 2 main actors are there. So it's got to be so awesome to be able to meet them. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, Malcolm. Death Wish is only the name of the coffee, Davina. You don't need to have one to drink it. Yeah, I like that one, Malcolm. What is Melody saying? Where will you find Peaches? I know someone in the neighborhood who owns a Cane Corso, so I could always invite him to come and hang out with us for a day. So, yeah. Yeah, Chris, they still do Star Trek cons. They still do Trek cons. So, and that's got to be at least 40 years old at this point. Trek, if not older. So there you go. Or at least it's got to be around 40 years old. Because I remember watching it as a kid, and I'm ancient. If we can get Mastiff Rescue involved, that would be awesome. I don't know if there are any here, but that'd be great. If you find one, John, that's in my neighborhood, like in New York City somewhere or close to, let me know. Send me the information. That'd be great. 50 for Trek. Yes, almost 50. That makes a lot of sense because I was watching it on TV. I would rush home Wednesday afternoons after playing outside to sit in front of the TV to watch Star Trek on TV. So there you go. Okay. Yeah, Doctor Who's even older. Yeah, for sure. It's over 50 years. Because I remember Doctor Who. Wow, I was really young with Doctor Who, and it had already been through a few iterations of doctors. So Doctor Who is really old. Let's see, Davina says, I underestimated my own pain tolerance. I figured it was serious. If it was serious, I couldn't have walked at all. Yeah, Really should have got it checked when my ankle doubled in size and turned funny colors. That's really a good indication sometimes. Don't feel bad because I've done the same thing with my swollen knees and ankles. I just say, hey, if I can move around and it can't be that bad, you should get it checked out if it's going to stop you. So, yeah. 1963 for Doctor Who. So, Doctor Who is over 50 for sure. Yes, that's pretty old. Definitely. Okay. There's going to be a cover reveal today in the mob for... I'm not even going to give you the name of the cover because the cover is just that awesome. But it will blow your mind away when I do reveal it. It's let's see, it's 12. So I'll do it later this afternoon, maybe right after the mob, the Cafe Clutch. I'll do it. But it's a cover that's like we're at Requiem. It's 7 covers away, but it just looks so good that I want to reveal it. And I'm not going to say anything about the cover. There's not going to be any backstory. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. Just going to give you the cover. You're going to have the title. And that's it. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, I already spoke about StreamYard. So some things that are coming up. I did a interview for this. Was it an interview? I guess it was an interview. It's towards... Okay, I'm going to say this and then my Dolly's going to laugh. It's for this group called TikTok, but it's not TikTok, the video things with the K. This is to introduce children to our culture. So TikTok, right? And so I did an interview about artists and what does it mean to be an artist. And so I did an interview that was about, it was supposed to be 10 minutes. It ended up being like 25 minutes. No, the cover is from Deranged Doctor's Design for Jem to answer that question. It's gonna be it's an amazing cover. You'll see it. I'm gonna send it to you, and you're all gonna go, whoa. John, send me the info. I will definitely find a way to get to them for sure. If you have research, send it to me, and if they're nearby, I can always find a way to get there. So yeah. Then I'm gonna do another interview today with Michael Massey. If you've read Junkyard Druid, he has a podcast. These are just miscellaneous things. I'm letting you know what's going on. Hello, Leslie. So, Michael Massey of Junkyard Druid, he's an author, and he writes Junkyard Druid. If you read his books, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm doing an interview with him. It's a follow-up interview because I did one with him a few years ago. He's kind of updating the old interview so he can release it again. So I'm doing that today. And I'm doing another interview in March, the 17th. With indie author. So they're going to do a meet the author thing. I'm going to do another interview with them. So I'm getting like all these interviews happening one after the other. So it's pretty cool because they're coming out of the blue. I'm not soliciting them. They're just kind of, hey, let's go talk to Orlando. So that's what's happening. So let's see. Yes, Deranged Doctor Design does the covers, and Dolly just makes sure that the covers are paid on time and stuff like that. Oh yeah, and Dolly says I have an interview with Oprah in November. Yeah, when Oprah calls me, trust me, you guys, right after Dolly, will be the first to know with my Oprah interview, for sure. See, that was good. I kind of spaced it out. It was good. It's good. Yeah, it's happening. I mean, these are people that I know, and, like, the TikTok was a childhood friend, and they have this organization that they're part of, so they wanted to get my thoughts on what it means to be a writer or an artist. And the Michael Massey, we're not really close, but we're fellow authors, and I've promoted his work in the past. And I haven't read the Junkyard Druid. I haven't read, but I hear good things about it. And I know him, and I hear good things about him. And I know him, like, we've spoken before. He seems like a really nice guy. And we're both fellow martial artists. He's a martial artist as well. And so it's just a matter of, like, giving back and helping other authors. So, yeah. But Wendy, you definitely were the first one. So that's for sure. And, yeah, we will always know that Wendy is the first interview in terms of things like that. Yes. I try, Chris. You know, you try. Chris says you have good insight for writers. I try to help writers out when I can. I don't usually make a big deal out of it because it's not what it's about. You want to kind of showcase the writers. You know the old saying, take all the blame and share all the credit. That's the way. That's one of my operating things. So, you know, when it comes to helping other writers out, I like to be in the background. But Wendy was the first, yes. Yeah, Linda. Linda says Junkyard Druid is really good too. I've never read it. But I know people who have, and the people who have, I trust their judgment on books. And so, yeah. And I've had conversations with Michael in the past. So he's going to do an interview with me at 1 today, and it's a short thing. So, I'm really glad that Ayrton looks up to me. It's awesome. I just want him to be as awesome as he could be. And I know I'm expecting to read some of his work as he gets more command of language. That'll be awesome. So which martial art will you be studying? Because I know martial arts run the gamut from Asian martial arts to what's considered more the European martial arts too. So what are you studying now, Jim? Yeah, I like staying behind the curtain, Chris. If it seems like I'm skipping from conversation to, I can keep track, guys. Don't worry. John says, stop having writers as friends. I got a long list of friends on the reading list. John, Shane, I can't get it. Yeah, I have a lot of writer friends, and I try to promote their books as much as I can, because when I started out, I didn't have any writer friends, and so I didn't have any people promoting my books. Therefore, I make it a point to promote as many books, as many writers as I can, while I have the platform to do so. It's important. Yeah, I like to stay behind the curtain. Yeah. Malcolm says, I couldn't get into Junkyard Druid. May need to retry now. Yeah, listen, not every book is for everyone. I'm sure there are people out there who try to read Monty and Strong, like Tomb Yards and Butterflies, and say, yeah, this isn't for me. The voice isn't something I can read. It has it. It does happen, you know? You're going Chinese now, Jim. Wow. So I study all Japanese now, so you're going to do Kung Fu Wushu. We better stretch. You gotta really be flexible for Wushu. And most Kung Fu styles require incredible amounts of flexibility. So warm up and be ready. Ayrton got Star of the Week from his class this week for his creative expression, making characters. Awesome. Tell him I said congratulations. That's fantastic. And to keep going. Yeah, Jeanette, definitely we have to share the love for our authors. It's important because we all start as readers first. And so you can't lose sight of that. When you're an author, you have to remember that you started as a reader. And that even though you're writing now, you still have to have that kind of, wow, I just read this great book, and share it with other people. And that way the author also gets to write more books, which is awesome. And that's key. Yeah, Japanese arts, Jim, don't require that much flexibility. The Chinese arts, Kung Fu, Wushu, require, in some cases, extreme levels of flexibility. So just be prepared. I mean, go in knowing what you have to do. But the stances are much deeper. And the requirements for the motions, the transition between stances, require a lot of flexibility. So, yeah. Yes, Jeanette, that's really important. I can't review authors. I found a way that I can review books, but it has to be on my phone. I can't review it on Amazon. I can review it if I read a book on my phone, then I can review the book, and Amazon accepts it, but I can't do it otherwise. So yeah. Yeah, Elizabeth, what style did you study? And when it's forced upon you at 5 a.m. in the morning, it's not going to be a good memory. So yeah, it's tough. I made my kids do karate. I don't think I ever made them do it at 5 in the morning, but I made them do it, and they're going to do it again, the younger group. So I know they're not going to look forward to it, but they thank me now. So yeah. Janine says, but it's so great you support authors in your genre. Not all do this. It's awesome. Yeah. Unfortunately, not all authors do it, but I try to do what I can to help the genre and to help authors in general. It's really important. And that's part of who we are as the mob. So if you look at the mob, you'll see a lot of other authors that aren't me, which is good. And you'll see a support and, hey, you guys got to read this or pick this up. And so it helps other authors, and it's important. Yes, and you want to leave reviews for the authors. I think I'll emphasize that as well when we do our L3s. Larry's literary list, that when you pick up a book and you read it, please leave the review. It's important, you know. Jim, it's always good to expand your ability as a martial artist into different branches if you can. You never stop learning as a martial artist, no matter what style you're doing. But in the end, it's pretty much all related because the body can only move in certain ways, you know. So it's all connected. See, what does Malcolm say? I think sometimes with books, it's when you try to read them rather than just disliking the voice. Yeah, I guess I'm not totally understanding the statement, Malcolm. Maybe you can clarify on that. Because, yes, the voice is important, but I think the context makes a difference too. So maybe you can speak to that a little bit, because I'm not completely understanding what you're saying. And also, I think it also depends on your state of mind. Yeah, because if you're in the middle of a stressful situation in your life, you'll be able to read some books, but some books will just make it worse, and then you can't. And so you'll have to put it aside for a little while until you're in a different space in your life. As Chris was saying. So I think it depends. It also depends on the kind of things you like to read. Like, there are people who like to read John who can't read what I write, and there are people who read what I write who don't want to read what John writes. And that's, every author has that. So that's why I always said no one author can supply all the reading for all the writers, all the readers that are out there, because there's too many people who like to read, and not enough authors for everyone. So there's never really a competition. Let's see. Elizabeth says, I put my child in martial arts, but not at 5 a.m. before school. More like a reasonable 3 times a week in the afternoon. Yes, that is more reasonable. That is more reasonable. At 3, in the afternoon, after school, and it's a different kind of setting. And it's always harder it's always going to be hard at 5 in the morning, but it's always harder when one of the teachers is a parent too. Like for me, it was hard because I was teaching my kids, and so they couldn't see me as dad. They had to see me as the sensei or the teacher, and that's always harder because you have to treat them differently. You have to treat them as a student, not just your child. Let's see, absolutely. And doing it this way, Jim says, I don't think I'll ever become a master of any of a single art. I think I'll find my niche in all of them and eventually end up with a hybrid style that suits me. Eventually, that's what happens, yeah. It all depends on how you want to invest your time. That's all. Right, Jeanette, I've done that with many books. So I have my policy of first line, first paragraph, first chapter. But there's some books where that doesn't work, and so I have to put them aside for a while, and then come back to I'll try them again later on. But it depends where my mind is at the time. And then I'm also in the middle of writing, so it's hard for me to devote so much time to reading and writing, Yeah, Chris, taking a break from UF, I don't read in my genre when I'm writing it. So when I'm writing, I read, I'll read books like 101 Successful Habits of Authors or things like that. I don't read fiction when I'm writing fiction. I read nonfiction. Only because I don't want to, even by accident, take an idea that's not mine. And it can. But when I'm writing fiction, I make sure I'm reading nonfiction. But I'm reading. Let's see. I missed one there. I want to enroll me in some sort of self-defense class, but can't because, okay, well, Jenny, you have reasons. So when you can, do so. It's always good. Davina says, I have a couple of authors who I can always read, Sir Terry is one of them, for sure. But others I have to be in the right mood, like King. Yeah, I haven't read Stephen King's. The last thing I read from Stephen King was the Dark Tower series. That's how long ago. After that, I was like, I haven't read it anymore. And have a great, wonderful day, and have a fantastic weekend. And hopefully we'll see you in the next Mob TV. And enjoy, be safe. And thank you for being here and coming and hanging out with us. That's it. Hopefully either you had coffee or tea or milk or soda, whatever it was. You had your beverage, but you're hanging out with us, which is awesome. Jim says, well, I started martial arts when I was 7. I'm now 42 and have done it on and off since then. This was my longest break. It's 5 years. That's a long break. So yeah, I know what that's like for sure. All right, let's get to the questions. We got 10 minutes, right? All right, questions. Let's see. This is from the question queen, Audrey, who says, Orlando, when did you first consider yourself a writer? Wow. That's a good question. Let's see. But the cliche answer is that you're a writer the moment you start writing. But no writer believes that. Because we don't. I would say when I held my first book in my hands, that it was published, and I had an actual copy of my book, The Spiritual Warriors, in my hand. That's when I finally said, okay, I can finally say I'm a writer. But the actual answer that you'll always hear is that you're a writer the moment you start writing, which is true, but you learn to internalize that later on with experience. But you really feel like you're a writer when you can hold your book in your hand. That's when you feel like, oh, I'm a writer, or when you see your book. Janine says mob. Do you not know what the mob means, Janine? It's the Mages of Badassery. It's in the title of the group's name. If you look at the group on FB, you'll see Mages of Badassery there. And of course, I would move the thing that had the questions. All right, here we go. A question for Dolly. So let me step back a little bit. The question for Dolly is, when you were in middle school, what was your greatest challenge or fear? This is a question from Audrey, the question queen. You guys better step your games up. Audrey's taking all the questions. Dolly, this is Dolly, in case you haven't met her.
Hi. So when I was in middle school, it was a new school, so the challenge was making new friends. And, everyone was pretty much new, so we kind of found our way. And, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Dolly, for that great answer. No, those don't need to be sorry, Janine. Everyone is new somewhere at some point. So no, you can ask all the questions you need. Let's see. Elizabeth says, I have used the word badass when talking to people. And dragonploded. Dragonploded is such a great word. It's right up there with deathane. Yeah, don't feel bad for being new. You're in the mob, so you're one of us. It's cool. Don't worry. All right, so next question. This is also from Audrey, the question queen. I tell you guys, get on the ball. We're just going to call them Audrey questions at this point. What selfless act was done for you that had the most impact on your life? Wow, my life has been impacted by so many selfless acts. I can tell you the most, I guess the most recent, most impactful one was when John, I mean, this is aside from family, right? Like, this is family is always doing selfless acts for me, right? But like, John logs in, took time out of his life to educate me on marketing and show me what it means to get my book out there. He was the one who said, listen, you got to write this Monty and Strong stuff now. Stop what you're doing and write this now. So you can blame him for not having Sepia Blue earlier. And that had direct repercussions everywhere else in my life. So aside from the selfless acts that like Dolly does for me every single day, and you know my kids do for me every single day, and that's something that's just too numerous to mention. And that act by John was the one who was like, you need to do this, you need to write it now because I'm right here with these characters, go get it done. And that impacted everything else. And it was also like, this is how you market, this is what FB ads are like, take this course, Mark Dawson, it's a great course, this is what he tried to say when he was explaining it, things like that. So that selfless act, because he didn't have to do any of that, impacted my life at one of the most impacts in my life, aside from like my first martial arts teacher, Devon Cormack, who said, even though I was in a class that I canceled because it's a long story. The class was canceled because of me for reasons I won't go into here. But even with that, he still said, no, I need you to still train. Because it was very easy for him to say, okay, you can't train, you're too dangerous. And he could have just dissuaded me from training. And he said, no, I need you to keep training. Even though his class was canceled in the school that we were studying. So there are things like that where people have done many selfless acts for me, which is why I always try to give back. Okay, let's see. Yeah, guys, you don't feel forced to think of questions in the moment. Heather asks, can a mage have PTSD and still function as a mage? Dangerously, yes, but it can happen, Heather, for sure. It's very close to what a schism is. Elizabeth says, do your characters influence your real life? Wow. Do your characters influence your real life? Is there one that stands out because of that? Sure, peaches and sausage. My characters influence my real life in the sense that they dominate my time a lot. And so it's like I have to get to certain things. And then when I have a character, let's say Nixia, that I didn't think was going to be so popular, and yet now has a strong coalition behind her, starting with a certain person. I'm not going to mention any names, but starting with a certain person, Nixia has a real strong coalition behind her. It influences my life because now I want to write more for her because of the interest there. So definitely like that, sure. Yeah. Yeah, Heather, I get it. Okay, what did I do?
Just flip your camera.
Did I flip my camera? Oh. How did I flip it back? What did I do, Zoya? Okay, I'm back. Ooh, that was weird. Evidently I flipped my camera because I'm on the phone. Okay, so thank you, Z, for flipping it back. Now I feel like my mom when I would explain techie things to my mom. And I'd be like, how do you not know this? And now I feel like my mom, like, oh, no, you just flipped your camera. Just press this. Boom. And she's like, yeah, okay. Let me do this. Oh, I got to do it here. Okay. Yeah, Heather, a mage can have PTSD and still function. But you got to be careful how you treat it in the story because PTSD is a real thing. And you have a lot of people who deal with PTSD in life. So you have to be careful how you express it in the story that honors the people that have PTSD without diminishing them. That's the important thing. I know a lot of veterans who have it, and a lot of people who've gone through traumatic experiences who've suffered from PTSD. A mage can suffer from that, but you have to know how to express it in a story that doesn't paint it, having it in a negative light. All right, let's see. Wait, there's other questions. Davina says, Jessica influences your life by giving you headaches from all the complaining. How if you killed her, that would stop. Yeah, she's not gonna die, Davina, and she doesn't influence me that way. I think it's great that you guys don't like her, because that just means I have to make her grow into someone that you can at least grudgingly respect. Not necessarily like, but grudgingly respect. So, in your mind, with how magic works in your world, this is Jim's question. Does it all stem from what you envision as chi? Is it all tied? Is there a magic system you created? So when you say chi, you mean energy. You're not saying chi like Michigo. So yeah, it makes sense. There's a certain magic system that works in a specific way, and I've tried to explain it, but without saying this is how it works. So it's not necessarily chi, but I'll have to explain it to you. I'll explain it to you in a PM. It's easier that way. Never hold having to explain against a parent. They taught you how to use a spoon. That's right. I totally agree, Jenny. Yep. And wipe my bum when I was a baby. So there you go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's weird, Chris. Everything's connected. That's all I can say. No, he means chi, Davina, the energy chi. Yeah. Yeah. When you're going to deal with PTSD, Heather, do what Chris says. PM him. Because I had to speak to people with PTSD before I could write it into the story. Just to be able to deal with it in a way that was respectful. Yeah, you have to convince people that they're not broken, that there's not something really wrong with them, that it's a real touchy subject. So you want to be really kind of, I don't want to say you want to walk on eggshells, but you want to really treat the subject with respect. It's important. So yeah. I've never heard of this, Jeanette. What is disability porn? I've never heard of that. Sorry. I mean, I'm not that well versed in these things. So I'm not, and we have, oh man, we're almost done. Damn. Yeah, so yeah, see, like, speak to Chris, Heather, and he can give you some insight into that, into the subject of PTSD and how to deal with it. Because a mage can deal with it, a mage can suffer from it, and have flashbacks and have episodes which will impact his being able to cast and be able to function. But you want to portray that in a way that doesn't come across as making the mage less than. Yeah, see, it's just again, it's a tender subject. It's just something you want to really be careful about when you discuss it, and more when you want to put it into a book. And there are other, like Jeanette just brought up, disability porn. So there's subjects that, as an author, you want to really be wary of, in the sense of when you put it into a story, you want to treat the subject material carefully. You know. Elizabeth, thank you for being here. It's awesome that you made it, especially when your day is demanding your attention, and you made time to be here with us. So that's so awesome. Thank you for being here. Have a great weekend. Hopefully you can make it to our next Mob TV and, hang out with us again. Jeanette said it's when the portrayal of disability is like, oh, look at them going, I can't make it out, but okay. I think I get it. Yeah. And Davina says someone lashing out from a flashback when they have massive potential. Yeah. That is scary, Davina. Right. So you want to do that well. You want to be able to do that in a way where it's treated well. All right, guys, we're out of time. So let me just read the last things. Our next mob is the 19th of Feb. So February 19th, that's when we're interviewing John. I don't know if it's going to take up the whole time. I'm guessing it will, because John and I, when we get talking, it just goes on and on and on. And me alone, it goes on and on and on. So things like that. John and I getting together is like nitroglycerin. It's just dangerous. So we'll be going on for a while. But I'll make sure there are questions in between all the jokes and comments that he's going to make. For those of you that do celebrate it, have a happy Valentine's Day. I know it's right around the corner. Don't forget, she's our closer. Don't forget that we're still in the middle of a pandemic, even though there is light at the tunnel, at the end of the tunnel with the vaccines happening and everything going on. Wear your mask, social distance, 6 feet. I got a little diagram here. 6 feet away. So watch your distance, okay? Oh, it's really important. If you don't feel well, really wear your mask. Get yourself checked out right away. I've heard a few stories of people who were okay one day, not feeling so good the next day, really ill the next day, and if they hadn't gone to the doctor or hospital, it would have been worse. So take care of yourselves, mask up, okay? And practice your social distance. And we have our closer. Yeah, get a shot if you can. I know right now it's a little hard because the demand is greater than the supply. But if you can get a shot, please do so, okay? And have a great weekend, all of you. And thank you for being here. It's so awesome to hang out with you guys and just, spend the time talking. And we're going to have our awesome Z closer come in. She's going to say goodbye.
Bye.
Have a nice weekend.
Have a nice weekend.
Let's wave something. Not just your hand. Put your face in there. All right. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, please. And I'll be in the room, you guys. I'll put up the cover for the new, it's really new, but I'll put up the cover in a moment. And you guys can go, whoa. Just remember, I'm not saying anything about the cover. Just going to release it as the cover. Take care, guys. Have a great day and a great weekend. Be uncommon. Bye.